Hey Joe, can you hear me now? I wasn't talking. I get started in about 6 minutes, but we can do small talk. I am watching this SPY break. We've been talking about areas and zones of support and or resistance. And as we can see, SPY just had a 15-minute bull break, but the bodies of the candles haven't cleared yet. Perfect. Yeah, I normally get started around 9 o'clock, but y'all know I like to chit chat with y'all, so we can start the chit chat now. So on SPY, we're watching this area of resistance to break. This is pretty key. Oil just proved it, where it broke the daily, this daily EQ. It broke it by 14 cents and then bounced, 12 cents, and then it bounced. So we just need to be careful with this legalistic view of these exact levels, especially when it comes to futures and with SPY with just slight fake outs. If we get a bear break without a lot of follow through, then we refer to that as a zone. It's a zone of resistance or area of resistance and or a zone of support or area of support. So if I move this, you can see, let's move this rectangle. You can see that we've had 3 candles right here, and now the 4th one where the body of the candle can't get over 290.85. So my new style of trading is I put this price line on my chart on the 15-minute. I want to see the body of the candle close above for a bullish EQ break versus these penny breaks, which just broke 291.07. So it broke it by 12 cents and then pulled back. So that's not a convincing break. I'm noting this decreasing bull volume over here. And we did have RSI trend line here. I don't use RSI trend lines as much as I used to. I was just noting it. So I'm going to take that off. So for SPY right now, we still have a resistance. We need to get over 290.95 decisively. Then we have support at 289.79 and 289.27, noting volume. And also our 15-minute EMA resistances, as you can see, this is the 12 and the 26, and we have price squeezed in between the 12 and the 26, and that's what the bulls are really fighting to get over. And as Dan noted, it is really responding to this oil bull break. This oil bull break here, which really helps SPY with that push over on the bull break. And I just want to zoom out here. I really use fibs a lot in futures, and I call it out a lot to the room in my videos. And here we had this double bottom that held, and then we got to a higher low. So just the fibs within this small range, it's hitting perfectly. So I've been calling this out in the room this morning, this 53.17, which is our 0.618 fib, and we're bouncing from that. And of course, the most important is this price level at 52.97, where we held it by a few pennies. So nice bounce in oil. If you're in oil, you are counter trend right now. So you want to be cautious. But I personally am holding out for this to be the daily. Actually, it was a lower low technically, but let's just call it a double bottom on oil. I am holding out for a longer swing, a longer wave. I will probably sell, I divide my futures and my UWT, depending on which account they're in, into 3 scales. I will probably lock in profit quickly on one scale. I haven't done that yet. And then the other 2, let it ride, break even, play out, or stop out. You're going to start hearing me say this a lot. POSO, play out or stop out. A lot of us take profits quickly, and sometimes we just need to move those stops up and let the stops do the hard lifting. So on oil, let me stop and do US oil exactly. So US oil now bounced. It broke it by 13 cents and it's bouncing now. So your supports on oil to keep this 5-minute uptrend is $53. So if you're in this trade, what you want to do is your stop would be right here. If you're in a short-term trade, $53. And then as oil begins to just snake its way up, then you just move that stop loss to the next 5-minute higher low, the next 5-minute higher low, next 5-minute higher low. Using these EMAs as our spirit guide, and these EMAs have a 45-degree angle. The slope of the EMA, SOTIMA, is very bullish. When slope is pointed 45 degrees up, bullish, and look over here, 45 down, bearish. So as always, I like to start lunch with Lori just setting my intentions. My goal is to use the left side of the chart to help you predict probabilities of the right side of the chart and stick with technical analysis and what's the most probable or least likely scenario for the right side of the chart. So if I go over your ticker and I forget to cover in depth the right side of the chart, you have a right to say, hey, yo, you need to go back over that. Okay, so SPY is still staying within this. Let's go back over here and let's go to our next commodity that is setting up slight cup and handle, but we would like this right side to be a little bit higher for a technical cup and handle. Nice decreasing bear volume on this pullback. If we zoom out, we can see that we have a hourly bull flag. The nat gas bulls have to be very happy with where they are. I know for Dan, he wants to see this 250 gone. So we have no resistance on the daily until 250. If we zoom into smaller time frames, we can get some resistances in between where we are and 250. But right now, the bulls have to be super pleased. And my personal plan of attack is I am walking up my stop loss. So now it's in the I do it on nat gas futures, but right here 2335. But I actually give it a little wiggle room because this is a bull flag. We could have a bear break, and I entered way over here, so I'm safe. So I like to put it in the let's say 233 range with the EMAs. I want to give the bull flag time for confirmation. So that's just my personal style. Nat gas, gold bulls, they hungry. Wow. Okay, I got to zoom out to get y'all some resistance. We topped out right here. That's probably a 4-hour resistance as well. Yes, 1550.38 is your must clear resistance. Right now we're topping out a little bit, but this rounding bottom is just so bullish. Just slow and steady buying, buying, and buying. After 1550.38, your next resistance is 1555.33. If we zoom into shorter time frames, your next support on 5-minute is 1545.18 and 1541.16. So again, I just changed my line to yellow just so I can visually call it out to y'all. This is that higher low. This is that higher low. This is that higher low. So visually, you're just walking up your stop loss and you say, I'm staying in this long until it breaches that yellow line. And that gets you keeping your profits and riding those longer waves a little bit longer versus just constantly taking it off. Okay, what else do we have? Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been bullish. Possible hourly bull flag. It would need to break 10.766 in order to confirm that. The bulls have to be real happy with this decreasing bear volume we have here, decreasing bull volume. So just to go over for anyone that's new, I like to go over the psychology of what's happening because it helps me verbalize and also get it ingrained into my head, and also helps me explain it to you is what these EMAs serve as the bulls get this big run up and they come back to the bench. They're running and they have to take a little break, and then they get their support and then they take off running again and they come back to the EMAs. If your bull starts losing the EMAs, that means the bears are really gaining traction. So what is the EMA? EMA is exponential moving average. This green line is 12. So that means on average, the last 12 periods of this time frame, 1 hour, the candles are closing above, so the trend is up. If they lose the trend and close below, trend down. So they're EMA lines, but they show our trend and our momentum. Okay, on the shorter term time frames, your support for Bitcoin 10.621 and 10.567. We may get a little EQ in here with the size of this pullback from here. So we may get a little EQ. That's the most likely scenario as we are working on the right side of the chart. XBI just got a bounce, and there was a great bottom fishing opportunity here at 78.37 and 78.31. Jules was calling it out to me, and great bottom fishing opportunity. And we say great bottom fishing, you're going against the trend because it's red. So you have a higher probability of getting stopped out, but that doesn't mean it's not a nice risk to reward to get in that trade, set your stop loss tight, and then see how it goes. All right. Did I cover everything? SPY still struggling at our zone here. At the zone, let me put another rectangle over that. All right, so I'm going to go over here and start with your ticker, CGC. All right. CGC probably going to set a 15-minute EQ. Okay, so 2409 is our high of day and our low of day is 2320. So we had this big range, opening range, and now we're going to tighten up within that range is the most likely scenario. Can y'all tell I gulped a lot of coffee before I went live with y'all? So this is the most likely scenario with CGC. The odds are not in our favor for bulls to go up and break this 2409 on their first try. That is not the most probable scenario. That there would be a 15-minute top fishing possible trade form in this area, pull back, get your higher low. They have bounced hard enough to give themselves room to get that higher low. So if you're looking at the CGC chart, the first thing we want to establish is higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. Map those out, and then in between those levels, figure out what's the most likely scenario. So it gave us an 89-cent range at open, and the most likely scenario is tightening. So y'all take a shot for every time I say most likely scenario. Okay, we have a double bottom on the 5-minute, 23.45, 23.46, and the only resistance left is this high of day. Then after that 23.45 double bottom, 23.20. This is not what the bulls want to see, this decreasing bull volume. You want to see increasing bull volume. We're in the lunchtime lull, so we fully expect this to happen during this time. So this may be a time where that lower high sets during the lunch period and then get that pullback for the higher low. All right, Nugget, GDX. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay, GDX just topped out on the 4-hour, 12-hour, and daily. Okay, let's just look at the 4-hour for a little bit of clarity. Let's just take that same CGC scenario. So we had this large range from pre-market over here, 30.81. Actually, I don't know what time that was set. I'd have to hover. Yep, pre-market 30.81 to 29.39, and now the bulls ran all the way up. So they went from a higher high to a lower low. Probability that they're going to go straight to higher high is lower. That doesn't mean it can't happen, but as of now, the bulls just topped out at 30.81. What does that mean if you're a bull? You still stay in the trade. You don't exit because of that double top, because many double tops are broken every day. And right now we have a 5-minute bull flag. But what I would do is start walking my stop up. So if you are one of the aggressive ones that got in over here, good job. So you had your stop loss there, you moved it up to there, then you just keep moving up that stop loss. So you had it here, move it up, here, here. And just be careful of any little fake outs where it may be a bull flag, and you don't want to get faked out by a bear break with no follow through. So then that's when I adjust my strategy and I move it to the EMAs. Let's say, these magnets make it hard to show y'all, but let's just say the 30-50 area would give it a little wiggle room for this bull flag to make its continuation without me getting prematurely stopped out. So right now you have support at 30.60, 30.53, 30.76, and then we got that double top up there at 30.81 we need to be mindful of. So right now everything, gold is in GDX's favor. It's a raging bull at the moment, so just be protective of your gains if you're a bull, and if you're a bear, you want to do quick flips because you're playing counter trend. So bull flag is most likely scenario. Bulls have given themselves plenty of room to get a higher low on this hourly. All right, VGW. SPY is pulling back. It was unable to break this. So our higher low on the 15-minute is 289.79. We're looking for a higher low relative to this, and I would say that this bull break was negated because we got no follow through. We still have this resistance to break, and 12 cents does not make a bull break on SPY. So the bulls are looking for a higher low relative to 289.79. VGW. Let me zoom out a little bit and get my bearings. We got an hourly hammer forming, hammer time right there. So we had higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, lower low. And then the bulls are buying that dip. They broke it by 6 cents and they're buying the dip right now. I have this on my chart probably up from over here. So it's interesting how these lines come into play. So right now your supports, you got a little double bottom at 330, then your next support's 320. On the 5-minute, the most likely, let's zoom out a little bit. On the 15-minute, the most likely scenario is a higher low. So we got this high up here at 356. We went to 330. Most likely scenario, higher, lower high, and then tightening. And by the way, tightening is fine on common shares. If you know you're probably going to end up in an EQ like CGC or VGW, no big deal. You're in commons. If you're in futures, no big deal. If you're in options, EQs are the devil because they just eat away all of your premium with decay. So with options, you want to be entering as close as you can to an EQ bull or bear break in order to avoid all that decay while things go sideways. Units still going. Oil's pulling back a little bit. Okay, that coincides with the SPY pullback. All right, TVIX. 007. TVIX, beautiful 15-minute EQ. So we have this high in 1977, another lower high at 1959. We have this higher low looking to form at $19. And then 1888, then we have the low of the day, 1859. TVIX is in a beautiful uptrend and a 15-minute EQ. This is a great trade setup going into the end of the day for you to watch. 1959 would be a bull break, and then right now a bear break would be $19, and then 1888 is right behind that. So in that scenario, you want to see the bears want to see it break both levels in short order in order to get follow through to the downside. They break this level without breaking this level, it's not as strong of a setup, or weak follow through, I should say. No problem, Joe. Okay, unit. Unit, if I can speak fundamentally, unit, if oil is holding this monthly and daily EQ, that bodes well for oil because it's an XOP company. So oil and natural gas going in a bullish direction is good for unit, and of course SPY going in a bullish direction. But right now we have this double bottom at 251, and we have an EQ of sorts, which could be a bear flag on the weekly to be cautious of. So on the daily, now we need to break 334 in order to get this higher high, because we got the double bottom, we got the lower high. We need to get a higher low relative to 251 and get over this daily 12 EMA, which has been the nemesis of unit since Jesus was a baby. So there's that. On the 5-minute, they're working on changing the trend here with 272 as their higher low, and then 267 support, resistance 280, and then up at the high of day 290. All right, Tesla. Tesla was strong and then just fell down. So Tesla, we've been looking at this falling wedge as we zoom out, and just zooming out, this daily 26 EMA did a karate chop to the throat on Tesla at 22554. 4 hour is still in an uptrend. Hourly is not. That was pre-market action. We could slightly disregard. Let me just turn that off and see if it gives me more clarity. The bulls really want them to hold this 26 EMA on the hourly at 22463. As you can see, I just keep zooming out, and we just have this opening range here. So an EQ is most likely. On what time frame? On the 30-minute. So right now we got an EQ. So we got this opening range where the bulls buy the dip like crazy, and now we have this big pullback. Unless there's news, the odds are that we'd get a higher low relative to 223.16 and then some type of tightening, and you'd want to see a bounce higher than that 30% so you don't bear flag out. So EQ is most likely scenario. This could be a good trade toward the end of the day and give it time to tighten up. C-Web, and I know you want the marijuana one, not the Chinese one, that one, not Chinese technology one. Zoom out, zoom out. Okay, 4 hours trying to negate this bear flag here. It's got a good enough bounce, but it is getting a karate chop by the 12 EMA at 2255. Bulls want to see a hold of this area if it were to pull back and then break out. So we've got that lower high at 2381. We've got that higher low at a double bottom at 2159. And now the bulls are struggling to get back up there. So they may need another higher low in order to get that bull break. But this is all happening on decreasing bull volume and EMAs overhead. So caution there. On the 5-minute, it just made a higher high. I'm just zooming out to make sure I'm not missing any perspective. So on the 5-minute, it's actually wedging out. And again, I don't trade trend lines. They're an edge for me that I'm aware of, and it is my opinion that this is, excuse the rough drawing, this is what's happening right now with C-Web, which is it's a rising wedge. So 2238 is your support, then 2206 your resistance, high of day 2274, and then 2291. So the end, we got some elevated bear volume here. Somebody saw that falling wedge happening. So let's see if they can get some healthy consolidation and it looks like the odds are in their favor. They're going to get a higher low relative to the low of day 2206 because of the size of that bounce. Labs, Med Farm, 5-minute bull flag, 15-minute bull flag perfection. Your next resistance after high of day is 528. Beautiful chart. Have we done anything to change the daily trend? No. Okay, and 513 is the daily 12 EMA. So it needs to get over 528. So that's our level here. Then we need a higher low, and that can be anywhere in this area relative to 426, and then go back up and break that high. That's what we need for a meaningful trend change. 5.5% bounce is mighty decent, and I know the bulls are happy with that, especially the bull volume, decreasing bear volume. But again, we have not changed the daily trend. We did change the 4-hour trend, so that's good. Need to break that 528. Nice bull chart. Okay, Cura. Cura for Lima, the cow. Wow, these bulls are on fire. Did they change the trend? They broke this 976, but we still need a higher low over here and then a move up to really confirm this trend change. But bulls have to be beaming on this one. Got a nice EMA turn up on the daily. And on the 5-minute, we have a tightening pattern here with a double top at 1030. Then your next resistance is 1033. You have support at 1011 and then 1005. Nice. This is what we like to see, that 45-degree slope in the EMAs. And the bulls are hoping this is just a lunchtime lull where hardly any volume's coming in. And then when the peeps return from lunch, that they could get more buying for confirmation of this bull flag. Keep your stops tight. Watch out for bear breaks on these bull flags. 10.05 is your support. I would say it could get to $10 with no follow through for a confirmation of the bull flag. So that's my style, to give it 5 cents in this scenario, just a few cents wiggle room, because I don't like getting stopped out with bull breaks, bull flags, and bear flags. Okay, just watching the tickers. Oil's continuing to pull back, which is not helping SPY in this scenario. But SPY has not had a bear break yet of this EQ. OSTK for TEM. Bear flag, 15-minute. That's one of those when you pull up the textbook, that's what you see when you want to see what a bear flag is. That's a bear flag. Okay. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Is there any? Okay, I got to go to the daily now. Support is 1220. Wait, there's got to be another one. 1220. Nope. 1220 is your next daily support. Let me go to the 4-hour. And excuse, I don't want to get y'all sick, but we do have a support on the 4-hour back at $14. Yep, $14 is your next support on the 4-hour. On the 5-minute, your resistance is 1505, then no resistance until 1610. Bears could be positioning themselves up at the EMAs on the 5-minute. Typically, when you go back to test those EMAs for the first time on the 5-minute, you get a rejection, then a pullback. And what the bulls want to do is possibly push up to the 26 EMA on the 5-minute. That way they could possibly get a higher low. But right now, we did get a vol climax there, by the way. But this is some puny, really weak bull volume. So bears are in full control of OSTK. No, that would have been a wonky head and shoulders. So on the daily, lower lows, this is a bear. Okay. My friend JR, ACB. Whoa. So ACB is in a free fall on the daily, but on the 5-minute, 15-minute, let's see, any clarity. Hourly bearish reversal candle forming with this upper wick. So here the bulls started up all gung-ho, and then they had this major pullback, and now they're just consolidating in this range to try to figure out who's in charge. They're saying tag you're it, no tag you're it, no tag you're it. They're trying to find out who's in charge. By breaking this 556, they took a stand, but guess what? They ran into a zone of resistance right here. So these bodies of this candle are acting as resistance. It broke it by 2 pennies, and with a pullback, that's not convincing enough. The bulls really want to see a march back up to 564, and the bears want to see a march back to 548. So at this point, with the ambiguity because of this wick over here, I would say for clear plays, a bull break would be high of day 564, and a bear break would be this low here at 548. So that kind of gives me 16 cents to play with as far as what's going on in here. While they battle, I sit back and play crossword puzzles. And when they're done sorting their life out, then I could play bearish. 548, then your next support would be 543. After 564, your next resistance is 565 and then 571. So this was a great, actually, triple top fish opportunity to zoom out and see this 565 hit, 565 hit, 564 hit, and then bam, pull back. So battle zone with ACB. Oh, did I? I didn't mean to. Let's see. TVIX, Tesla, C-Web. Oh, I sure did. I sure did. I'm sorry, Tanimal. Tanimal. I-N. Wow. Wow. How could I have missed this one, right? Hourly RSI 84. Coming in hot. I doubt that's the all-time high. Nope. Okay, so 46 cents is your next resistance on the daily. So you're not in blue sky breakout, so just be cautious of these of this RSI. Right now, as long as the EMAs are holding, I would stay in this trade. Your last 5 minute support is 37 cents and then 35 cents. Looking really good. And I would say we've had a 4-hour trend change for sure. On the daily, it would be a judgment call to see if this was the daily low. I would say we've had a trend change, but we still want a low relative to this 33 cents. 33 cent area. And it looks like they have earnings coming up, if TradingView is accurate, on September 15th. Nice trade if you got this one bull from down here. Wow. All right. UWT. Y'all are so nice to me. I'm going to drink a little coffee in y'all's ear real quick, if y'all don't mind. Okay, UWT. So with UWT, it's a 3 times ETF instrument with decay, so we always have to be careful when we're looking at UWT. We go back and look at oil, but I will give you UWT levels 1072 and 1085. Your resistance, short-term support at 1051 and 1032. But let's go do the prudent thing and look at oil. U.S. oils. Okay, U.S. oil trying to form this 5 minute higher low at 53.33 with support at 52.99. And then your resistance 53.66, 53.86. How do I trade this if I'm in long? Let's say you followed Dan on this trade this morning and you're in long. This was your stop on oil if you're in UWT, and then you just watch oil and then you move it up here. And now it's at 53.37. We really need this to hold to be our higher low. I could argue we could get a little fake out here and then our higher low wouldn't be established, but the bulls really want to see this hold. And plus it's our 5 minute EMA back test. True. I got rid of my SPY chart and now I'm kind of lost. Everybody's duking it out, 15 minute EMA taser squeeze. Got to get above the 26 EMA on the 15 minute 290.69. Okay, True, is that the right one? Yes, True Leave. Four-hour trend change and now getting zapped by the 26 EMA. Bull volumes increasing. That's what the bulls want to see. Be careful that this doesn't happen, that we don't get some type of head and shoulders gnarly action. Right now, bulls are in charge, nothing to worry about, but just be a little careful of that. You have resistance high of day 1113, and then after 1113, your resistance is 1144. Your supports are 1075 and 1063. Let these EMAs be your spirit guide. Above EMAs, bullish. Below, bearish. 5 minute. Keep it simple. All right. I'm getting lots of messages. 1 second. All right, let me go back to our thread. My apologies. All right. So we are on TRUL for Zelobo. No, I did that one. And I caught up on N. Okay, now we're on CANN. Cannabis Heritage Holdings. This one. All right, Matt. This has a liquidity problem, so I have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we got a little trend change here. So we made our low at 38 cents, our lower high 41.5 cents, our double bottom at 38 cents, and now they're trying to set this high at 45 cents and get a support down here and hold this 41-cent EMA. I hope y'all have grace over me on these small caps, these penny stocks. Sometimes it's hard to do the analysis with low liquidity, so I have to like really slow my roll. Yeah, we have volume of 153,000 on average, so, or 153,000 today, I should say. It's actually below average volume, getting tased at the 26 EMA on the daily, which is at 43.5 cents. So be real careful. If 40 cents is lost, then you have that support at 39 cents. They really need to clear this 44, 45. I'm assuming this is a fundamental play because technically it's hard to give y'all analysis when something's in a straight downtrend since, well, it's not that bad. It's been a downtrend from 72 cents and get a 50% haircut. That's kind of gnarly. So just be careful and protective with these. ARDX. I feel you, Smiley. Those small caps are hard to shake that short feeling. Okay, let's zoom out. Okay, this is a major pump dump type one. Looky loo. This one has a monthly falling wedge, Smiley. I can attempt to draw it real quick, and it will be ugly. That's ugly. Okay, you get the gist, but it looks like this has a monthly falling wedge. I'd be wary of that it may have just broken out of. So just be cautious of that, okay? So drop that pattern idea, which is we don't need patterns to trade. We just need price action to trade. This volume is insane. So Smiley, my rule of thumb, if we're at 5 times average volume or more, I stay away short. Okay, so this has almost 9 million volume and the average is 718,000. Zoom out. They've only had one other day that came close to that green-wise. So volume tells the tale. That means people are hungry to buy this. So be very, very cautious. You could possibly enter a short if 407 is lost, then your next support 387 and 377. As a potential bear, you like that this is happening, that the bear volume's going down, but they have not lost these EMAs on the 15-minute. They're holding long and strong. So just be careful. Again, this monthly falling wedge is really screaming at me here. And it got zapped at the 26 EMA here. Yeah, just for my own edification, 1 second. Let me do 2 months. Yeah, this is a falling wedge. Wow. Biotech for sure. Yeah, just don't get caught with 9 million hungry bulls and you be one of those bears. So just be careful. Oh, you're funny, Jules. Okay, where am I? Is RSI cooling off on an EQ a bull signal? I wouldn't say it's a bull signal. This is what, so the relative strength is, so RSI is relative strength index. You want to see RSI going up. That is a bull signal. RSI going up is bull, and it has the same properties of SOTIMA, slope of the EMA. We want to see the slope of the RSI curling up. Watch ARDX here. So we want to see RSI above the 50 line. That is, so if, let's see if I can draw it. So you want to see RSI above 50. I can't move the line, but you get my point. Above 50 on the daily, that is a very bullish sign. So during an EQ to see RSI drop off, like here it's just going flat on SPY, that just means the bulls don't have the strength, nor do the bears. But look at this puny bear volume. That gives the edge to the bulls, JR. So to answer your question, I would say during EQ, what can you look at as to say, okay, what's the edge? You want, if you're closer to a bull break price-wise, that gives you an edge. If you're closer to a bear break, that gives the bears an edge. If RSI is above 50, that's bullish because you want to see RSI curling up and trending up slope. That's bullish. And then, but the volume is the telltale beyond price, is the bears aren't showing up to pull this down. The bulls just stepped away from the bid and said, pull it down, and they can't. They need to break 289.79 to prove something, and they need to prove it on this next 15-minute candle, because then the bulls are coming up on support and like, okay, we had our water break, put us in, coach. So just be aware of that. Okay. STZ have been green. Constellation. Wow. That's a nice chart. But let's zoom out and see how nice it is on long term. I think we just had a cup and handle bull break. This is a wonky cup. You don't want to, that's not a cup you could drink out of, but this is a beautiful green bullish engulfing candle on STZ on the daily. Your next resistance is 207.679. Okay, that's where it just topped out. Gains, so just be careful right there. 207.79. It needs to clear that with force. Then your next resistance is 212.06 and 214.48. Need to clear this. I mean, y'all don't put that in a textbook for a cup and handle, because God, that's ugly, including my drawing, because you don't want to see this wonkiness. You want to see that slow rounded bottom, but it still has the psychology there. So 207.79 is a top fish, but this is a really strong bull breakout with a bullish engulfing. What's this volume? The volume is not jumping out. It's early in the morning though. Yeah, volume's only a third of average, and we're more than a third through the day. So bulls may be petering out here. Let's zoom in here. The bulls may be petering out. So 207.79 could be a top fish. But when you're going against a raging bull, you want to set your stops there and freaking hold them no matter what. Okay, FSL. Oh, wait, did I give you the short-term levels? No. 206.60 is your support, and 204.56, and of course your resistance high of day, and then 207.79. Then I think I gave you that 212 number. Okay. FSLY, is it still doing crazy things? It's dumping. I would expect with the size of this move that we would get a higher low relative to 2757 on the 12-hour. Let's look at on the 4-hour and see. Yeah, it could EQ out on the 4-hour. So I would keep that 4-hour up, because this big inside bar of 34.88 and 27.57, this big range, excuse me, it really needs to break out of this range to show us something. So 27.57 would be a bear break, and 34.88 would be a bull break. In between, you could get chopped up. On the 15-minute, if you went short, you're looking pretty, and your next support is 28.50. I like it on the 4-hour for clarity. I know y'all were talking about this one a lot last week with this huge bull run up, and Dan predicted this big pullback. So now they're just kind of sorting themselves out in this range to see who's going to get the upper hand at the end of this EQ. This playing out. No problem, JR. And there's my girl, Jules. I've already done Tesla, but I'll do it again. You tuned in late. Kidding. Okay, what? Tesla, we're still predicting this EQ. So this 223.16 low of day went to high of day, and then we got this pullback. It's clear on the 30-minute. I would still expect a higher low relative to 223.16 and then some type of EQ pattern. I still think Tesla and CGC earlier were some of the best setups. Yeah, within Tesla, are we still? And that EQ, yes. So Tesla and CGC, when you have wide opening ranges, they set up EQs, write them down on your list, and then look at them later in the day and see if they're tightening up. They could offer you end-of-day trades. But don't get chopped up in the middle. There's no fun in the middle. Okay, NVDA. Got a 30-minute bull flag on the. Sometimes it's hard to see a bull flag because you normally see a bull flag on the top of an uptrend. So this is not the classic, but it does have the psychology there. Okay, so what'd you do, Bizzle? Short term entered bear on top. Fish at the bounce. Great entry. I'm sure you entered up here, which was the 26 EMA acting as resistance on the 15-minute, and now it's pulling back. On the 5-minute, this support is desperately trying to hold 164.38 and 164.35, and truly no resistance until the low of day 123.25. So as a bear, you want to see this. You want to see this bear volume elevate, and you want to see the slope of the EMA go down. So right now it's attempting a bear cross. So I would definitely use a tight stop, because with the width of this range, you'll see on the 15-minute, what we're looking for is an EQ. This bounce was too high to be a bear flag, so just be aware of that. And you could just let the EMA be your guide. So in this case, instead of price action, which so closely matches up with 15 EMA, is as the 15 EMA drifts down to meet price, you could just keep moving your stop loss. And if it closes above the 26 EMA on the 15-minute, then you stop out of your short. So not only can we use price action as our supports and resistances, our exit targets, our entry targets, we can use EMAs for that as well on larger time frames. It gives us a nice visual to just watch. You kind of watch this EMA pushing down price, pushing down price. This bear volume is pretty low here, so just be careful in your short. Keep your stops tight. Rio. I'm going to drink a little water. I'm assuming Rio is a minor. It says integrated minor. All right, we went from a lower low to a higher high, and now they're trying to get that higher low on the daily. Hourly, this is Chop Fest. 30-minute, 15-minute. I'm sorry, I'm trying to give you the most clarity. So on the 15-minute, they got this range, and then they just lost it. So on the hourly, this is a downtrend. So we have dropped to lower lows, lower high, and now the bulls are looking for a higher low relative to 49.28, and the bears want to see a break of this high of day 50.16. So that's the clearest setup I can give you. I apologize for my choppy explanation, but this is a choppy chart. 50.16 is would be a bull signal that they're working on changing the trend. But what do they have to do to change the trend? They have to run up past this high, then make a higher low, and then go up for a trend change. So you're definitely more comfortable as a bear in this lower low, lower high downtrend on Rio. Support on Reno is a double bottom, Rio 49.73, and then your resistance is 50.02, and then 50.05, and then 50.16. All right, I talked pretty fast there. Let's see what else we got going on. We are still within the EQ on the 15-minute, and it's still holding this 289.79, and the bulls are just hanging out waiting for their friends to come back, and the bears are waiting up here for their friends to come back, and then they're going to duke it out. All right, let's see. Any other requests? Any stands out? Okay, any setups that stand out to me going into end of day? I would definitely say Tesla for EQ play with this ARDX definitely is looking bullish on this turn, Smiley. CGC on a 15-minute EQ. This is tightening up nice and tight right here. And then what was the other one, y'all? Tesla and CGC. Because you had such wide opening ranges, the probability is that you're going to get a EQ. So here I would be looking for an EQ into end of day. Okay. And SPY. You know, we look at our individual charts all the time, but you know, if we just look at SPY within to itself, we have a 15-minute EQ. This awesome setup. You can trade SPY calls, puts, ES futures, SPXL, SPXS, and that gives you nice trading opportunity. So I wouldn't say a ton of clarity because we did get this bull break with no follow through, but I would say if SPY can break this and here 289.79 and then 291.07. Those are clear signals for this bear or bull break as we tighten into the end of day with SPY. All right. Tilray looks like a 30-minute bull flag. Got a lot of bull volume pushover here. The bulls don't want to see a head and shoulders. We need to see a break of 27.39. Your next resistance after 27.39 is 27.97 on Tilray. Your 5-minute support's $27.2613. LCI, you ready to short? Okay. Yes, you got an ugly daily bearish reversal candle. Ugly weekly bearish reversal candle. 12-hour ugly, ugly. 4-hour bearish engulfing. Ugly. I like it. Your next support's 925. Let's see. We have a support right here. No, it broke that. So 925 is your next support. I like this. The RSI is not extended. So when you're top fishing, you don't want that RSI so beat up that you get caught in oversold bounce. So after the low of day 974, your next low is 925. I like this one. I like this one a lot more, Smiley, for a short. All right. CGC is still tightening within its range. Amazon bulls are taking a little break. They had a big go of it this morning. The bulls don't want to see this happen. This is looking a little head and shouldery for Amazon. I'm just kind of scanning. Oh, TVIX, that was a good setup. 007. TVIX had a 15-minute EQ. That's the tightest setup. Let me post it right here. That's the tight setup, and it has no fake outs. That's a tight setup. So let me post that one in the room. Okay. I shall post this one. TVIX 15-minute EQ. I'll post that one in the general chat. That's probably the best setup of the day as far as real tight pattern, classic, what you want to see. So whoever wins the SPY EQ war will probably win. The opposite will lose. Or somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose in TVIX. Bulls and bears on both sides. Nat gas is still looking really strong. What about oil? Oil's not pulling back. They want to hold this 53.35 here. Bulls are probably taking a little break. And this is some really low bear volume here on oil on this pullback. So that bodes well for the bulls. All right. BKNG, 15-minute EQ, possible bear flag. IIPR bulls are tiring out a slight amount. Tesla bulls need to save this low of day to tighten to that EQ on the 30-minute. Decreasing bear volume, they may get it. Okay. Messages. All right, any other ticker request? See what's Platinum doing. Platinum finally getting that pullback. Platinum was crazy. I tried to short it back here and it just over here, this double top 944, 944, 9. The bulls kept going. The daily RSI is 80 in this bull volume. Just be careful. Don't get bulldozed by the bulls when you're trying to be a flippant bear. All right. One last call for any tickers. All right. I'm just scanning everything real quick. Tilray staying really strong. Do you ever look at the Ichimoku? Yes, I do. And I do, it's in my favorites, and I keep it over here. I was just messing with a new indicator, so I took it off, but it's in my favorites here, Ichimoku. So if we look at Ichimoku on CGC, what I like about the Ichimoku cloud versus moving averages is it is a leading indicator versus a lagging indicator. So I do like that about the Ichimoku cloud. And let me just go over in non-technical terms what the cloud is. So with the red cloud, was developed by Japanese based on mathematics, is when it's really thick, it's hard to exit out of. So you wouldn't expect price to come out of this cloud. And when it's really thin, that's where you want to enter and break down or break up, is when the cloud is thin. So right now we're under this red cloud on the hourly, so the bulls could have a go at it at, well, that's after hours. I'm on the hourly. I mean, it's fairly thin right here at 1 p.m. to break through. So yes, I do like the cloud, and I keep it over here in my indicators. As y'all can see, I have a lot of them, and then I just hide it. And then when I want to just kind of see if it's giving me any extra edges or information, then I open it back up and unhide it. What the CGC bulls would like to see here is an hourly bull cross. I don't think I noted that earlier. So let's look at SPY and see what the cloud tells us there. SPY is under a red cloud on the 30-minute. Let's look at the hourly. So on the hourly, see how it's catching the edge? So these edges of the cloud on top and bottom serve as resistance and or support. So you can see it's just falling right there on the hourly. So yes, and I like it, and I do use it. All right, game. What is your thought on this EQ? Some nice bull candle right there on the hourly. Relative to RSI, I would say the bulls have a point in their court because of the bull volume, because the RSI is above 50 curling up. We've got the slope of the EMA curling up. And let's see what the Bollinger Bands are doing. And Bollinger Bands have a curl here. And price is right here on top of this curl. So I would say we got 3 or 4 points in the court of the bulls on game. Your next resistance is high of day, 1048. Then after 1048 is 1050. They've been beat up pretty bad lately. Oh, that's his all-time high. Okay. And then on the 15 minutes, your support's 1034, 1032, and 1028. Oh, Canadian. Sorry, JR. I didn't see that. Okay, so game, you're looking at millennial. Okay, that one. Gotcha. Nice bull volume, TCG bull cross, RSI above 50, turning up. Bollinger Bands are kind of flat. They're not really giving us a clue. I don't know that we have an edge except for this volume right here. That's making me lean slightly bullish. Let me hide the Bollinger Band. So lack of liquidity, I have to zoom out. So right now your supports are 93 cents, double bottom then 90 cents, and you have a double top at $1.15. The slope of the EMA and bull volume, that gives the bulls a slight edge in my opinion on the 4-hour. Last ones. No problem, JR. Okay, 007, HST. Host Hotels. Our lower low, we broke the hourly uptrend. So your supports are the low of day, 1582, and then 1577, and your current resistance is trying to break the high of day at 1601 and then be 1614. But it is still in an hourly downtrend, and bears would be looking for entry right here at the hourly 26 EMA for a potential short. Your stop is pretty far behind you at 1614, so just cautious with that. Nice EQ right here on the 5-minute on HBI. Not hobby, HBI. Nice EQ. 1299, 1301, double bottoms, resistance 1209, 1311. Let's zoom out a little bit, make sure this isn't a bear flag. Yep, got a little bear flag. When you see that flag action, and when you can look at this on a lower time frame and say, oh, I got to zoom out, that is such an awesome step and progression in your trading. I'm not saying I've had it for years. It's a recent development where I can look at this little stutter step within and say, oh, I got to zoom out. It ain't breaking out. It ain't breaking down. It's flagging. So on the 30-minute, we got a bear flag to be cautious of on HBI. And again, you got supports 1301, 1299, resistance 1309, 1311. If the low of day is breached, your next support is 1296. Looking kind of black dirt breakdowny. It has some old support over here. Let me give you another support. Your next support, sorry about the zoom in out. Let's see. Is really 1157 if it breaks that 1296, and we got a support, so it's not a technical black dirt breakdown, but this RSI is getting slaughtered and it's not bouncing. All right, as awesome, y'all are all just amazing as always. So thank y'all for participating, and if y'all have any questions, as always, tag me in the room.